Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Billy.
And I'm Gwen Bevel. Today, the Wichita Falls mayor and police chief expressed great gratitude to the Good Samaritans who stepped in when they saw a little girl being abducted.
26-year-old Rayshawn Perez is accused of trying to kidnap and assault a 7-year-old girl on Elizabeth Avenue Saturday afternoon. Witnesses say that the girl was playing on a scooter when Perez grabbed her and started to walk away. A neighborhood boy saw the attempt, notified Brad Ware, the nearest adult, who was able to stop Perez.
Today, those two are being recognized for their courageous efforts that police say stopped the aggravated kidnapping as Perez was trying to push the girl into an abandoned house. Matt McCulloch was there this afternoon during the presentation. He joins us now from Elizabeth Avenue.
Yeah, Gwen, Mayor Steven Santillana and Police Chief Manuel Borrego are calling the two heroes in our community for stepping up and saving the life of the 7-year-old girl. Now, Ware says that he immediately rushed out the door to track down Perez. He and his wife found Perez down the alley and say Perez was trying to put the girl through a window of an abandoned home on Clark. Now, Ware's wife screamed for Perez to put her down, and Brad Ware ran after him, kicked him in the groin, and tackled him. Then he held Perez down until officers arrived. The mayor and police chief formally thanked Ware and 11-year-old TJ Smith, the boy who says he saw Perez take the little girl. TJ says that he just did what he thought was right, but Mayor Santillana says he and Ware are heroes.
I told him, I was like, I don't know if it's sunk in yet, but the city of Wichita Falls couldn't be prouder. You have two individuals and an 11-year-old that step up, that use bravery and basically put a stop to something that could have been really bad.
What this little boy did was just amazing. To go out there, and because I'm sure he was scared and afraid of what was going on, but he still persevered and went out and made sure he got help.
Now, we'll hear more from the mayor and police chief tonight, as well as from TJ about what his heroics mean to him. And again, TJ just says that he just did what he thought was right, while his mother says that she's just happy to know that she raised her boy to always do the right thing.
Neat story for sure. All right, Matt, thank you.
A Las Vegas man arrested yesterday with a Clay County woman on robbery charges had bond set today at $250,000 on each robbery charge.
27-year-old Zachary Trumbull is accused of armed robberies of the Missile Club and the Fast Pack store this week. Police say Trumbull admitted the robberies and that his accomplice, Trinity Nolan, drove the getaway car. Nolan was out on a $100,000 bond for the alleged murder of a man in Henrietta in September. Her robbery bonds were set at $150,000. In the Missile Club robbery Monday night, an employee said a man came up to the bar and pointed a pistol at her and said, "Give me the money or I'll kill you."
A few hours later at the Fast Pack on Central Freeway, the clerk said a man came in, pointed a pistol, and demanded money and cigarettes. The suspects were caught after police say Nolan had a clerk at another store call 911 and then told officers she had been kidnapped and held against her will. Police say after Trumbull admitted the robberies and said Nolan's story was a lie, that she finally admitted her story was untrue. They say Trumbull said he needed money and would stop at nothing to get it, and told officers that he had the gun out when police arrived and could have stopped the officer from going home and didn't care if he was going to prison forever.
Well, a man on trial for burglary of a building receives a 19-year sentence today when the charge normally carries a range of 6 months to 2 years. The stiff sentence came because 52-year-old Orlando Torres was ruled to be a habitual criminal with more than 20 previous arrests or convictions for burglaries and thefts. Torres was found guilty this week for his latest burglary in January of a downtown storage facility on Lamar. Police say a back door had been pried open and Torres was recorded on surveillance camera pulling up in a car, going to the door and coming out with a toolbox. Torres' arrest record in Wichita Falls starts back in 1992 with a theft. The next several years show arrests after arrest for burglaries of buildings, houses, and vehicles. The defense asked visiting Judge Roger Towery for leniency, but Torres was sentenced to 1 year less than the maximum of 20 years under the enhancement statute. And a trial date is set for a man arrested after a 4-month investigation by Wichita Falls police into alleged promotion of child pornography. Randall Lee Baker was arrested 2 years ago and charges with 20 counts of promotion of child porn. Today, his trial date was set for January 9th. That meant the murder trial of Willie Hervey, set for that week, will be moved back to March. Baker is free on a $750,000 bond.
Another Wichita Falls restaurant at Faith Village Shopping Center on Caulfield is no longer open for business. Jersey Mike's has a sign on its door from the leasing manager that says the owners are 3 months behind on rent, so the leasing company changed the locks. We've contacted Jersey Mike's corporate office and the leasing manager for comment, but have not heard back. Last week, the restaurant next door, Reef Street, closed after moving into the former Smash Burger location last summer. If you live in Oklahoma, you may start seeing anti-abortion signs in public restrooms.
Oklahoma plans to require hospitals, nursing homes, restaurants, and public schools to post signs inside public restrooms directing pregnant women where to receive services as part of an effort to reduce abortions in the state.
The provision for the signs was tucked into a law the legislature passed this year that requires the state to develop informational material for the purpose of achieving an anti-abortion free society.
Samaria Terry joins us now with more.
Yeah, Doug and Gwen, the State Board of Health this week began considering implementation of regulations for the signs. And businesses and other organizations will apparently have to foot the bill, estimated at $2.3 million because the legislature didn't approve or appropriate any money for them.
Under the law, the signs would state, quote, "There are many public and private agencies willing and able to help you carry your child to term and assist you and your child after your child is born. Whether you choose to keep your child or to place him or her for adoption, the state of Oklahoma strongly urges you to contact them if you are pregnant," end quote. The signs would also include a link to the health department's website. We spoke to residents in Lawton about their thoughts on the new signs.
I believe it's a great opportunity to give the females an option to make the right decision, because usually in that situation you're in a crisis mode and you usually take the most quickest way out, but a lot of times the women just don't stop and think about it. It gives them women's outlets and information and options.
But other residents like Bessie Hornbeck, who says she is pro-life, say they don't understand how the signs will make a difference.
I think our laws are getting completely out of hand on forcing everybody to do what they want them to do. And, you know, abortion's a decision each person has to make. But what good's making businesses put up signs in their bathrooms? But these same people that are doing this are complaining about mothers on welfare, mothers getting food stamps.
And Jim Hopper, the president of the Oklahoma Restaurant Association, says it's going to cost each restaurant around $100, even small businesses struggling to stay afloat.
It's an unfunded mandate on small business, and as far as the restaurant industry is concerned, it's not necessary.
The Oklahoma Hospital Association projected it would cost at least $225,000 for signage at the state's 140 licensed hospitals.
Now the signs must be posted by January of 2018.
All right, Samaria, thank you.
Now, also this week, the Oklahoma Supreme Court threw out a law requiring doctors at abortion clinics to have hospital admitting privileges.
The court said the law violates the U.S. Constitution by creating an undue burden on a woman's access to abortion. The court also said the law violates the Oklahoma Constitution by including more than one subject in the measure. The ruling overturns a lower court's decision in February that upheld the law.
Well, Texoma's only standalone Alzheimer's facility is expanding. The Earl W. Crawford House of Hope held a dedication ceremony for its fifth wing today. Organizers broke ground on the project back in June, and the $3.1 million addition, like the other four wings, will offer suites for patients who will be able to enjoy a home-like environment where they'll have their own private rooms, facilities, and views of landscape courtyards. The House of Hope Board of Directors started fundraising for the project last year. So far, over 300 individuals have donated funds to make the construction possible. They're still collecting donations, and every gift over $1,000 will be recognized on a glass panel that will be on display in that lobby.
Well, shoppers are out scurrying around town buying gifts for all of those who have been good this year. Some are working on making Santa's naughty list.
Which is why the Wichita Falls Police Department is reminding you to always be aware of your surroundings.
Kenzie Meekbeck joins us now from outside of Target with some tips to ensure your holiday shopping trips are safe. Kenzie.
Right, guys, and as you can see behind me, the stores are bustling with 10 days until Christmas. But with the stores bustling, that makes you more vulnerable to criminals.
As the days tick down to Christmas, the stores will be more packed than ever.
Well, normally I found that it works best if I do it in September. There's sales and it's quick in and out, and I don't have to worry about packages in the car.
Well, when I go out, I make sure that I have my sidearm with me because I have a license to carry.
While you are out working to get everyone's wish list covered, keep in mind criminals are also busy this time of year.
Everything's going to pick up during the holiday season. You're going to have your vehicle burglaries that pick up. You're going to have your thefts and stuff like that. We just want people to be aware. Be aware of your surroundings.
Police have stepped up patrols around busy areas and say, especially now that it gets darker earlier, it's important you park in a well-lit area as well as close to the store's entrance.
Of course, the police department says the most important thing to keep in mind is to stay aware of your surroundings. Don't text or be distracted while on the phone. Have your car keys out and ready. And ladies, wear your purse around your shoulder and don't leave it in the cart.
And if you go from one store to the other, make sure to put your bags in the trunk of your car or hide your finds so a Grinch doesn't steal your cheer at the most wonderful time of the year.
Even though it's getting colder by the day, don't leave your car running because police say there are people out there that look for that and it could leave your vehicle to risk to being stolen.
Good tips. All right, Kenzie, thank you.
After the break, Kevin has your weekend forecast where snowflakes are still in the mix.
And while Kevin's working overtime monitoring the weather for you, our team of the week is working overtime to earn a tournament title. We'll hear from them a little bit later in sports. Stay with us.
Watching KFDX3 News at 6 in high definition with Doug Bilyeu, Gwen Bevel, weather with Chief Meteorologist Kevin Selly, and sports with Tobin McDuff. Closed captioning